Well, of all the purchases we make in a lifetime, it's hard to think of one more important than a home. Whether we buy it or rent it, housing will account for a significant proportion of our total spending over our lifetime. The cost of housing has grown significantly in recent decades as the prices of houses and apartments have risen faster than our household incomes. And higher prices flow through to higher rents. That dream of home ownership that flourished post-war seems more out of reach now than ever. And the fundamental issue is we're just not building enough housing to meet the needs of Australia's growing population. And this is amplified by record levels of migration. So Australia has amongst the least housing stock per adult in the developed world. And it's also one of the only developed countries in which housing stock per capita has been stagnant over the past 20 years. There's a particular shortage of affordable housing in urban areas in a range of options that are attractive to key workers, professionals, young families and downsizers. And the housing crisis in Australia has largely been driven by several factors impacted over the long term. So population growth, the lack of supply impacted by complex and drawn out planning regulation, and more recently, the construction industry crisis. And this has seen the cost of materials skyrocket and building companies have come under significant pressure, plus labour shortages, all of which have impacted the building of new homes. The decline in social housing availability is another massive concern for our communities. And Australia's social housing levels haven't actually changed much since 2006, despite the increased demand. The construction industry is struggling after years of disruption, and the cost to build new housing is significantly higher. And critically, there's a gap between housing that's been approved and housing that's actually getting completed.